Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Curse of Oak Island. Marine archaeologist explains what the guys have found in the swamp. This week on The Curse of Oak Island, the team consulted a marine archaeologist about the artifacts found in the swamp, and Gary Drayton's metal detector actually picked up on an ancient coin. The guys just can't stop finding artifacts in the swamp. Both Rick and Marty Lagina pointed out early on in last night's episode that every time they go digging in the boggy land, they find something. These finds range from ancient tools to ship's railings and decking, to an actual stone roadway and a ship's wharf. Later in the episode, Dr. Ian Spooner referred to the swamp as a book because they find something significant every time they look into it. And it was no different yesterday as Gary Drayton and Billy Gerhardt continued to pull various pieces of wood out of the marshy land. Unfortunately, Gary still doesn't have a wood dance to accompany his gold dance, but he still couldn't hide his excitement over the variety of interesting items they were uncovering. Dr. Lee Spence expected the Oak Island artifacts. The guys decided it was time to have an expert look at all these artifacts, so they welcomed marine archaeologist Dr. Lee Spence to the war room, hoping that he would impart some wisdom. The team is still hoping that an ancient treasure ship is buried in the swamp, and they mainly wanted Lee to let them know if these artifacts were nautical in origin. Lee has spent a lifetime researching maritime history, and he found his first wreck on a dive when he was just 12 years old, so there was no doubting his credentials, and he told the guys exactly what they wanted to hear. Most of the items found could easily be part of a ship, he said. There was one item that looked like a rather large wooden pin, which Lee said was likely a fit. Fits were used to manipulate rope on sailing ships, and he said this one probably came from a large sailing ship. Later in the episode, the team received the results of some carbon dating tests. They'd ordered on a couple of the swamp items, and, excitingly, they were dated from approximately 1680 to 1750. These dates, or similar, keep cropping up in the course of their research, and everyone is starting to believe that something of great significance happened on Oak Island sometime between 160 and 1750. There was excitement over a coin find, but disappointment at the money pit. Meanwhile, Gary Drayton actually found a coin, and no, it wasn't a Canadian dollar. Yes, you read that right. The metal detectorists, along with Michael John, were exploring Lot 32 near the swamp by the coast when they found the circular coin-like object. Gary thought it looked very similar to two British 17th century coins the guys found in 2018, but he resisted the urge to scrape the dirt off for fear of damaging it and sent it off to the archaeology trailer for proper study. We'll hopefully hear the results of that next week. Regulars of the show will know you can't have a high without a low on Oak Island. With that in mind, it was perhaps no surprise that there was a major disappointment at the money pit. Last week, there was lots of excitement when they thought they hit a cavity that may have been a secret chamber. And their excitement was again piqued last night when the drill appeared to hit the cavity once again. However, disappointment crept into their faces when a core sample pulled up some eelgrass. This organic material was used with coconut fiber in the construction of flooded tunnels. This meant the cavity was unlikely to be a secret chamber stuffed with treasure, but was probably a boring old flood tunnel. In the shroud of dawn, the mist clung to the surface of Oak Island like a forgotten whisper, concealing secrets buried deep within its murky depths. The swamp, a notorious enigma in the island's lore, lay still, its silence broken only by the rhythmic splash of oars and the murmur of anticipation among the treasure hunters. The Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, along with their dedicated team, had gathered once more, driven by an unyielding desire to uncover the island's mysteries. Today, they were not alone. Joining them was Dr. Evelyn Moreau, a renowned marine archaeologist whose expertise promised to shed light on their latest findings in the swamp. Dr. Moreau, with her sharp eyes and a mind honed by years of deciphering aquatic enigmas, stepped onto the wooden platform that jutted over the swamp. She surveyed the scene with a mixture of curiosity and excitement. The Lagina brothers greeted her warmly, their faces etched with the marks of countless endeavors. "Dr. Moreau, we're thrilled to have you with us," Rick said, his voice a blend of respect and hope. "We've made some intriguing discoveries in the swamp, and we're eager to hear your insights." The team gathered around a large table where artifacts, photographs, and maps were spread out. Dr. Moreau adjusted her glasses and began examining the items with meticulous care. Among the discoveries were fragments of timber, rusted metal, and what appeared to be remnants of a ship's hull. "These timbers," Dr. Moreau began, holding up a piece of wood, "are fascinating. The grain pattern and the method of construction suggest they're from the late 17th to early 18th century. This was a period of significant maritime activity, especially in this region." Marty, ever the pragmatist, leaned in closer. "Are you suggesting this could be part of a shipwreck?" Dr. Moreau nodded. "It's highly possible. The construction techniques are consistent with those used in shipbuilding during that era. The swamp's unique conditions could have preserved these timbers remarkably well. But there's more to consider." She moved to a large, rusted object that had puzzled the team for weeks. "This," she said, pointing to the corroded metal, "appears to be a section of a ship's anchor. The design is distinct, and its size suggests it belonged to a sizable vessel. Anchors like this were commonly used by ships involved in transatlantic voyages." The air buzzed with excitement as the implications of her words sank in. Could the swamp be hiding the remains of a ship that had met a mysterious end? And if so, what had brought it to the shores of Oak Island? Dr. Moreau continued, her voice steady and thoughtful. "There's another layer to this mystery. The presence of these artifacts in the swamp suggests either a shipwreck or a deliberate attempt to conceal the vessel. Given Oak Island's history of secrecy and treasure, it's plausible that whoever was involved might have sunk the ship intentionally to hide something valuable." Rick exchanged a glance with his brother, his eyes reflecting the weight of years spent chasing shadows. "We've always believed the swamp holds answers, but this takes it to a whole new level." As they delved deeper into the evidence, Dr. Moreau revealed another intriguing find. "We've also detected traces of organic material within the timbers. This could be remnants of cargo or personal belongings. If we can analyze these materials, we might uncover more about the ship's origins and purpose." The team's excitement was palpable, their minds racing with possibilities. Dr. Moreau's expertise had transformed the swamp from a murky mystery into a potential treasure trove of historical significance. But the swamp was not ready to give up its secrets so easily. The dense, black waters seemed to ripple with a life of their own, as if guarding the tales of centuries past. As the team prepared to dive deeper into their investigation, they knew the road ahead would be fraught with challenges. The swamp, with its treacherous terrain and hidden dangers, demanded respect and caution. Days turned into weeks as the team, guided by Dr. Moreau, meticulously excavated the swamp. They uncovered more artifacts, fragments of pottery, coins bearing the crests of distant lands, and a curious assortment of tools. Each discovery added a piece to the puzzle, painting a picture of a ship that had once sailed proudly before meeting its enigmatic fate in the heart of the island. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the swamp, Dr. Moreau gathered the team for a moment of reflection. "What we're uncovering here is more than just artifacts. It's a story of exploration, of human endeavor, and perhaps even of greed and betrayal. The swamp is a keeper of secrets, and we are privileged to be its storytellers."